Your mission begins now.
If there's anything that stands out about my skills, I'm just an absolute creative berserker. I don't know how to do this, but I'm gonna do it. And then sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but it's at least memorable and shows the telltale signs of my approach.
Planet Earth. This must be the place.
I grew up in San Jose, California. Real normal. Like, miserably normal.
Welcome home, son.
I lived in such a boring suburban universe. I watched every show that was about aliens. I loved the idea that the world was more than this little place when I was a kid that I was trapped in.
They're coming.
This is where everything comes from. Me just watching movies, watching cartoons, playing, being in my neighborhood, and just dreaming stuff up.
What's wrong with you? All you talk about is aliens and ghosts and seeing Bigfoot in your garage.
So much of Zim comes from a lot of nighttime anxiety. My imagination was great during the daytime, and then at night it would be like, here's the price you pay for all that stuff. You are going to basically crap yourself from terror. The ability to see that this guy who worked on comics that weren't for kids, why I might be a good candidate for working on a kids show, I got lucky that someone thought that of me. Nickelodeon, Mary Harrington contacted me about pitching ideas. Zim was the first thing that I pitched that I came up with specifically for the pitch, and it just kept going. It pretty much went from pitch to series just without hardly any waiting, and then I had a series.
Do they really believe that could happen?
There was no way I was gonna say no. The fact that they just took a chance on someone that a lot of people wouldn't have given a kid's show to is one of the coolest things that ever happened to me in my life. I'm super thankful. Me at 19, 20, 21, 22, I was just like, of course I'm gonna make stuff, and of course I'm gonna have a cartoon show. Zim is that version of me, highly concentrated, where his greatest superpower is his inability to understand why he might fail. It might go, and it usually does. It goes horribly.
My spine!
Back then, we had people coming in working from other kids shows, and then they're on this thing and they're like, what is this? To see them just kind of open up and go, oh, I can do this? Just seeing the enthusiasm, seeing people kind of light up at what they could do now. Having people come in and pitch ideas that were not Rugrats appropriate. And I'd be like, yeah, that sounds great. I like when I can see an actual personality in someone's work. When I watch other shows, I want to feel the person coming through. That's my favorite stuff. I want to see that they're making something that could only have come from them and looks like them and sounds like them. All these characters are like you, absurdist versions of you. Zim is that confidence that just knows no end.
I'm not giving up. I'll destroy you!
Dib is definitely that little me that wanted so badly to find these things and go, see?
Am I the only one here who sees the aliens sitting in class?
To do a show where all these aspects of my personality are villainous. They're not good people. I like reminding myself of how bad some version of you can be. And just kind of be like, I don't want to become that. But I want to laugh at that. This movie is Zim's first venture into the modern age of fandom. In terms of what the general consensus is, I think most of what we got back was positive. They always say don't read the comments, but you're like, how could you not? There are some people who are like, oh my God, it looks great, or oh my God, it looks terrible, and it's to be expected. It's funny. It's funny being able to just put this tiny little thing out there and watch the blast wave hit people. Just working in animation, I'm forced to interact with people, which isn't my natural state. But you get the right people around you, it just sort of opens up your idea to things that you never imagined, because you put your idea in someone else's head. You have people around you to bounce ideas off of, and it's like a mini audience before the audience, and it's cool. It's surreal asking about what it's like to create like a cult classic or anything that people like. The ability to just sort of leave that impression of yours in someone's life experience is just surreal. I don't think I'll ever really wrap my head around it, but to know that it's happening and to remember that happening to me, it's just cool. Anytime I think, things are rough, and I just think, oh God, I get to get the stuff out of my head. I get to make these worlds that I've been obsessing with since I was a little kid. Now I get to actually make them. It's important to stand back and realize how lucky I am being given the opportunity to do that. That's the dream.